Hello everyone, you're watching Pitch Battle. I'm your host, Indian. A lot is happening in Indian cricket. Uh, Coaches are being picked, support staff, selector, uh, and then we are playing the T20 World Cup. We're up against Afghanistan today. First match of Super 8 of the T20 World Cup. A lot is expected. Last series for outgoing coach Rahul Dravid. We'll see a lot of changes happening after this tournament gets over. It's a very of Indian cricket, and today, of course, is an important chapter because we're starting embarking on a Super 8 journey. I don't know how it's going to pan out because other teams are doing exceedingly well, and T20, either team, I mean, see how a team like Pakistan could be beaten. Anything is possible under the sun. So we are joined by the discussion forward by Avinash and Shakya Mitra. Welcome, gentlemen. I'm at loss of words actually. I mean, there's so much happening. You actually very tough to lay your hands on one particular issue. That this is okay is going to be Avinash. So, what's the hot news today? If you were to sort of spell out your top priority news tonight, what is going to be that?
Dada, definitely it's going to be India versus Afghanistan, but a larger chunk of the pie is being taken away by Gautam Gambhir, and now there are rumors. I just read a report. Some BCCI official was quoted in that report saying they could also go for two coaches. W.V. Raman, who was interviewed a couple of days back, he's also into contention, given his profile and the success that he has had with the various teams he's been part of as a coach. And the experience part also seems to be playing a role. So there is a dilemma in the Cricket Advisory Committee as of now, but I think you would be the right person to comment upon that. But as far as India and Afghanistan game is concerned, I'm very sure Team India will be eager to beat Afghanistan because of the track record they have had against this opponent, and also the way Afghanistan played the last group stage against West Indies. I mean, they were completely bruised and battered in every department of the game when they ended up losing by a margin of 104 runs. And today we saw in early in the morning what happened with West Indies. So yes, exactly. The Super 8 is definitely panning out to be tournament or competition to watch out for.
My God, I mean, my heart is inside my mouth. Come to think of it, if Afghanistan can throw open a good challenge in front of India, it's quite possible. A lot of people
Yes.
over the years, over the months, have been talking about how Afghanistan could be a team as good as Pakistan. Shakya, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's India. It's a team of four, a group of four. There's Australia, Bangladesh, Afghanistan. So I believe today's match will be very crucial. I know there's a big game against Australia which comes at the end, but today's game will be very crucial in taking that step towards the final four. And now, from wherever what we are seeing, I believe the other group is probably stronger than in this group that is being played. So position placings will make a big difference in this group. So you have to win every game, and Afghanistan is not a side you can take lightly. I understand that West Indies beat them quite comprehensively in the last game, and there are days when their spinners can be hit all over the place. Those days will come, but this is a Super Eights. Every match matters, maybe even every over matters. So there's a lot of things which have to be taken into consideration. So this is really the business end of the tournament, and India will want to go one better. They've been like there was a break between the 2016 and 21 World Cups, and then 22 World Cups. We reached the semi-finals, but that was far from our most convincing tournament. So, so India will. Whether it's Afghanistan, whether it's Bangladesh, they don't want to take any of these sides lightly. And Afghanistan is a very mercurial team. You don't know which Afghanistan turns up, and the one which beat West Indies, or the one that the one that beat New Zealand, or the one that turned up against West Indies. So yeah, I mean, hope India is on their A game today.
I know they have to be, but Avinash, I mean, are you expecting any changes in the playing 11? I mean, we've done stories also on Mike Hill, and how there could be a little spot for our uh, pocket dynamite Kuldeep Yadav. So I would call him like that because he can really make a lot of difference. And really the good thing which we are enjoying watching is the score line has gone up from 120, 100. It's going to be 180 type, which is a good news, isn't it? I mean, we watch T20 games just to just to see those hits to the fence, the fours and the sixes. I mean, your thoughts on that?
Yes, it's a good sign, not just for us. In fact, even for the broadcasters, Dada. I mean, they were also hoping the game to be at least stretching full 20 overs, and both the teams end up playing full 20 overs, so they get maximum out of it, the advertisements and everything else. So it's good. And yes, when the sixes are being hit, the runs are being scored, automatically the match also, I mean, the time span of the entire match increases. And people actually they come out, turn out in big numbers to watch these big stars hitting the bowlers all around the park. So definitely there's something positive in the group stages for fans as well as for the broadcasters. Now coming to Kuldeep Yadav, I think yesterday in the pre-match, on the eve of the match press conference, coach Rahul Dravid he has definitely hinted that we are going to use either Chahal or Kuldeep Yadav, and I think in the pecking order, Kuldeep seems to have an edge over Chahal because the variety that he brings to the table and the kind of form he has been over the last 1 year or so, and even in the ODI World Cup that we saw at home, he was one of the best spinners in the tournament. So definitely, Kuldeep is likely to get into the playing 11 today. And given the fact that we are playing against a vitriolic side like Afghanistan, a shrewd spinner like Kuldeep Yadav will definitely add up to India's bowling arsenal. But that also begs the question, who is going to miss out from the playing 11? Whether it's going to be Akshar Patel, the scapegoat, or will it be Ravindra Jadeja, who has not done anything well? Because Akshar Patel has delivered with the bat, and even he's done better with the ball as compared to Ravindra Jadeja in the league stages. So it will also be interesting to see whether they go with the reputation of a player, because you have a player in Ravindra Jadeja or an Akshar Patel who's had a good form recently.
All right, we'll see what happens, but I don't see a lot of hope as far as changing the playing 11 is concerned. Ideally, you should play a spinner. Probably, ideally, you should play a Kulcha, but then you have to spend on your batting also. But Shakya, your thoughts? You see any changes? Because it would be unfair to drop Shiraj as well. What makes you feel that Arshdeep is superior to Shiraj? I mean, there has to be some sort of logic into it. Otherwise, it doesn't look complete. But Indian team, they have one good thing about them. In big tournaments like the ICC events, they don't make much of it change, which is amazing. Which they do throughout the year. By the time the big tournaments are happening, they are in a state of rest, not in inertia of motion, which is a great thing. Shakya?
Yeah, so but I do foresee a change. I think a special a frontline spinner like Kuldeep will come in, and probably Siraj will make way because we also have Hardik Pandya's bowling. But I'd like to just add
Yes.
a little bit on the pitch. I'd like to add a little bit on, since we are talking about the pitches and the surfaces. Uh, the game where today the West Indies England match was played, that's also where we are going to be playing the game against Australia. So this is at Saint Lucia. Saint Lucia has been the only surface which has been a consistently high scoring ground throughout this whole tournament. Also, I saw today a bit of today's match. The boundaries were a bit smaller. Sixes were being cleared easily. So I'm not entirely of the view that now we are going to get a succession of high scoring matches. We'll get them at St. Lucia, but then also, whether we play at Trinidad or at Guyana with the semi-final venues. Barbados has been a decent scoring ground, but
Yeah,
I don't expect the scores to go up that much, except in Gross Islet, where today's matches happened, and where a lot of the matches happened in the whether the high most of the high scoring matches in the group in the first round took place as well. So I don't see too much of a strategy change, but still, I would still say that the other group is probably the stronger group. I mean, yeah, right now, India will want to definitely India will want to qualifying may not be enough. India will want to probably qualify in first position. Maybe they should try their best to ensure it's an Australia England semi final, so they can so that
all
one
right.
of the two goes out. So, but yes,
You haven't answered
those are
my
my
question. What
about
what exactly
the
happens
about
to
the
Kuldeep?
team. No, I
You're
believe
answering everything.
I believe Kuldeep should play. I believe that Kuldeep should
All
play,
right,
and I mean, it'll be a bit harsh on Siraj, but I believe Siraj will probably go out.
all
They
right.
may go with three
Believe
spinners
become. That's what
basically.
you see. Avinash, believe become. In this team, only guy who's been really consistent and who's going through some of the stuff which is being said about him is Rishabh Pant. There are four contenders after Rohit Sharma. Probably will give up white ball captaincy. There is Hardik Pandya, probably in T20 to start with. There's Hardik Pandya, there is KL Rahul, who's not part of this team. You have Rishabh Pant and then Jasprit Bumrah. So, hearing some of the thoughts of the to be named coach, whatever, Gautam Gambhir, he is of the opinion that Rishabh is the one for the future because of you can induct it as a white ball captain slowly under Rohit, big test cricket, and then probably will come up and take the all format. And he's the only cricketer who is going to play for at least 10 more years, if not more. That's what people are expecting. So he's the one for the long term. Your thoughts, and it really come up, and the fact that he's already become a, a potential captain after that deadly escape from that accident. I think it's a great news for Indian cricket, seeing the way Rishabh has been placed, the way people are thinking about him. Uh, he is our only match winner. I mean, in fact, if you're thinking of winning the World Cup, Rishabh is going to be very, very crucial. And good thing this Indian team has done is to push him up the order. Your thoughts, Avinash, Rishabh Pant, the force, the king he is going to be in days to come.
There's no doubt about it, Dada, but we'll have to see whether the whatever Gautam Gambhir, the who's looking like a front runner in the race, his suggestions or whatever his demands are, whether they are being met by the selectors and they are vetted by the BCCI. So we'll have to wait and watch because there was thoughts that just after the 2022 World Cup that it would have been better for India to go with a fresh face and a fresh captain soon after what happened in Melbourne in the Australia. So, but that didn't happen. Rohit was appointed the captain of the side, and we didn't see the team do much. I mean, more or less, we are still the same. We ended up losing a final where we hardly showed any teeth in the World Cup final, and then there was the WTC final where again we were toothless against the side giants like Australia. So yes, it will be good if we invest in a captain, a young captain who will definitely learn on the job. And of course, I don't see a Hardik Pandya leading the Indian side in a T20 World Cup 2 years from now. So obviously, you'll have a player who can be groomed into a good, not just as a captain, but into a leader. And yes, for sure, he can lead the side for another 10 years, but I don't think so. It is going to happen in Indian cricket anymore. I mean, we've seen, and those days I think are gone. There are too many contenders for the captaincy roles, and even the selectors and the BCCI at times just it gets subdued by the aura of the superstar culture that we have had over the years. I mean, except for MS Dhoni, we have not seen anyone leading the Indian side for a period of 10 years, and I don't think so. It is going to happen uh, uh, anymore in the Indian cricket. But yes, having said that, I think if they invest into Rishabh Pant, he could be your captain for at least 3 to 4 ICC tournaments, and that is going to be a big thing. KL Rahul, I doubt. I think KL Rahul could be a better the red ball captain because at least his place there is intact. But in white ball, I still don't see him, at least in the T20 eyes. Uh, Obviously, he can be a part of
Uh,
the ODI side.
yes, we are also looking at a one captain for all formats. That is also
Yeah,
there
exactly.
because
Exactly.
you can't have this because there were suggestions in the past, and even Virat also thought there could be two white ball captains. BCCI believes that a person who's playing all formats, technically he should be captaining all formats. And this is not only Saurav Ganguly who once told me when he was a BCCI president. I mean, we have a very conventional approach. We thought we'd speak about a lot of things like having different coaches for different formats, and eventually we stick to the traditional Avinash, that traditional thing of sticking to
Yeah.
one man, one boss. Multiple bosses that will probably spoil the show. Just the thought which is there inside our we follow one order. It's like one country, one boss, like that.
Yes, exactly. Up to an extent, that is true. I mean, too many heads spoil the broth. I mean, and it's completely true with the Indian cricket. And we have seen over the years. I mean, take for example what happened during the Greg Chappell's era. Yes, he was the boss, but there were others in the team who were not happy with the way that boss was functioning because there were legends of the game who also understood the game. I mean, I can say much better than Greg Chappell because Saurav Ganguly, Rahul Dravid, VVS Lakshman, Sachin Tendulkar, they were all, I mean, they all are not just legendary players, they also had the foresightedness, and we saw them serving the game even after retiring, and they continue to do so. So yes, one head and one person taking control of the entire team truly makes sense because I mean, especially in the Asian or subcontinental teams, if we can talk about multiple captaincy format is not suited, and it is a bane, not a boon.
It is, it is. But talk about one man. We are really keen to see him coming back to his elements, and he's made a lot of effort to be there in that position. Our opener, Mr. Virat Kohli, he's not scored that many runs. He's got out while chasing. He was whitish deliveries in couple of matches, last couple of matches that we have played. One was, of course, a washout against Canada. But Virat Kohli is the man we are looking out for tonight, and how he is going to perform. He's a big match player. Hear about it all the time. And then I can't forget what Rohit Sharma did against Afghanistan in that World Cup game in Firuzshah Kotla, because it's our turf. So we can't forget about people. It was absolutely brilliant. He sort of had a feast on the Afghanistan bowlers. I mean, didn't allow them to settle down at all. They can really fight hard, let me tell you that. But then I'm reminded of that series which happened at home, Afghan versus India, and India actually had to really struggle to win that series. Saki, if you remember that series we had where Virat and Rohit announced, well, I'm not going to go out. We're not going to go out. We're going to play T20 no matter what. If you can tell us that phase, and then when Afghanistan Team has gone from strength to strength. So Virat Kohli is going to be our guy tonight. Hopefully, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that it's definitely a relief that we are not playing at New York, because that gave a lot of trouble to at least these two very uh, uh, esteemed cricketers, Virat and Rohit. But I think Virat Kohli is an absolutely class player. You can't write him off on the basis of three innings played on a surface like the one that where those matches were being played. And I'm sure he'll come. I'm sure he'll come good today. He's always reveled in the World Cups, as is Rohit Sharma. They are both cricketers who always excel on the big stage, and I'm sure Virat Kohli will repay the faith that the management has had and everyone has had to play him as an opening batter. And I see a big one coming from him today. And every match matters from here. So this is an important match, just like every match from here is. And I see Virat Kohli doing quite well today. And yeah, I don't know the status of some of the other players. I mean, how much more longer will they continue having faith in Shivam Dubey? I know that Rinku Singh is still with the squad, but whatever, let's see what they do with that.
All right, we'll see what they do with that. But Virat Kohli is one man. We're always looking to see him scoring runs. Some even suggested he could come down the order and sort of anchor the innings. But we saw what Phil Saul did other night. Yeah, it was other night only, and we've seen what some of the other teams are doing. Stroke making ability. Either you have it or you don't have it. But when you talk about this format and we talk about Virat Kohli, Avinash, I want to know from your thoughts on Virat Kohli. You see him continuing after this T20 World Cup in T20. He's of course going to. Problem here in Indian cricket is that as long as you're playing for India, your IPL contracts are also in a very good. You're in a good position. But Virat has crossed that stage like MS Dhoni. You don't have to play international cricket. At least he can make way for the youngsters after this tournament. Your thoughts, Avinash?
Definitely, he will have to bite a bitter pill. I mean, if he doesn't, then the selectors will have to show some spine and call the shots. I mean, they will have to take a
Oh,
hard call. I mean, Virat Kohli has been serving Indian cricket for quite long, but it is time for him to pass on the baton and move forward. And
yeah.
It will be not just good for Virat Kohli, but also for Indian cricket and vice versa. So definitely, I do see him. I mean, he can go an MS Dhoni way. He cannot. He will not be a part of the side, but he would still not announce his official retirement the way his predecessors have done, so that his IPL contract is still intact, and maybe a couple of bilateral tournaments or so, because he's always. I mean, he's done that. Served Indian cricket so well. So definitely the selectors or the bosses at the BCCI might give him a couple of uh, tournament, a series or a bilateral couple of matches in a series to stay relevant and keep his IPL contract as also intact. But definitely, I do not. If you are not going to be a part of the side in the next T20 World Cup, then definitely you are eating up a spot and uh, creating. I mean, it's not going to be beneficial for in cricket. So it is time for the likes of Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma both to now keep team beyond and before them their personal interests, and it will be. I mean, we expect it from stalwarts like Virat Kohli, who will definitely toe the lines of their predecessors like Rahul Dravid, Sachin Tendulkar's, MS Dhoni's, because they've all had longer careers. But at one point of time, they also understood the fact that it is time. we make way for the youngsters. And at the age that they are in, definitely they will have to prolong their test career if they wish to play few more years and serve the Indian cricket. So they will have to opt for at least opt out of a format and keep playing in the red ball format. That's my belief.
Yeah,
All right. I mean, in my opinion, we should just focus on white ball cricket, nothing else. Uh, I beg your
agree.
pardon. On red ball. Yeah, you want to say something, Shakya?
Yeah. So, just to add to what Avinash is saying, that I think both these two men, Rohit and Virat, should absolutely uh, give way from T20, because we have the next T20 World Cup in 2026. We need 2 years. We need 2 years to prepare new players coming in and give them that chance in
Yeah.
that format. If you're going to bring in Abhishek Sharma, if you're going to bring in a Riyan Parag, if you're going to bring in some bowlers, maybe Mayank Yadav, Ravi Bishnoi wasn't picked for this World Cup, but there are going to be other new players coming in, and not Abhishek Sharma and Riyan Parag are the two obvious names on the basis of the kind of tournament they had in the IPL. But you need to give these guys 2 years. I mean, like, you can't be saying Abhishek Sharma cannot have a great IPL a month before the T20 World Cup, and you say that, oh, why is he not playing? The fact of the matter is, you don't give him those games. You haven't seen how he plays in international conditions. You don't see how they play on different pitches. So that is why, if we are going to build a new T20 side, we need to give them 1.5, 2 years for those players to get settled, to play on different pitches, to play different kind of bowling attacks, and if you're playing bowlers, the kind of different kind of batters to bowl to. So you need to give youngsters or the new players that opportunity to test themselves in different conditions.
Also, we should not forget the fact that just 2 years after the next T20 World Cup, we'll also be having an Olympics in Los Angeles, and most of the players that we are seeing in the current World Cup are not going to be part of that Olympic side for sure. Not just in Indian cricket, we are not going to see the likes of Josh Butler, Mitchell Marsh. The Amrik Nokias, Kagiso Rabada. So every team will have to invest into youngsters now so that they start building a team for not just for 2026 World Cup but also for the Olympics, because cricket is going to be, and the way we've seen these some of these associate nations play, especially if you talk about US. So 4 years down the line, they are going to give all the teams run for their money, and you'll have to be ready for them.
True. I mean, this is so relevant because we are entering a new phase, and cricket has changed so much. Yesterday, guys, I was with Dhruv Jurel. He was in the nets. So I was trying to sort of get him out and all that. I mean, how dare do I mean, how dare I do that? I mean, but I was still trying to do that. And let me tell you, these guys, uh, Jurel is not even part of the team. And if you see, he's practicing with white ball, or we'll be traveling to Zimbabwe with the Indian team, the new coach. But their practice, since the Indian team is playing there, they're not going back because it starts with the Ranji Trophy, Dilip Trophy, and all that. But they're going with that. I mean, any time you get a call, they're all ready. Avinash, which is amazing. These guys are so, and they are not they're completely sync. They may not be part of the Indian team, but they're all ready, which is what this current generation, I think, will score more than any generations I have seen. They're always ready.
And they will have to be, Dada, because we've seen the game evolving so much, and there's not much of time. And these youngsters also understand it pretty well that they won't get the too many chances to prove their mettle and secure a spot in the side. I mean, we've seen in the past that the likes of Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli. I mean, they had at least 3 4 years before they proved their mettle. I mean, Rohit Sharma, if we talk about, he became a great almost 5 to 7 years after making his debut. I mean, everybody had the belief in him. He had that talent and the potential. But at least 3 to 4 years it took him to prove and rise to the expectations when he actually started opening for Indian side. And that match against Australia at Chinnaswamy, where he scored the 200. So everybody understands it's not easy, but times have changed. So you're not going to get even 10 matches on the trot to prove what you are capable of or what your potential is. So you're going to have a limited amount of chances, and at least in those limited chances that you get, you will have to lap it up and prove what you are made up of and your metal. And only then the captain, the team management, and the selectors are going to show faith in you.
True. I mean, it's very competitive, and it's like a huge bunch of players, waiting in the wings. But tonight we have Afghanistan versus India versus Afghanistan, of course. And when it's India, you can't leave out Jasprit Bumrah. Shakya, your thoughts on, before we wrap up the show, on Jasprit Bumrah, another Jasprit Bumrah special we can expect tonight?
I think Jasprit Bumrah is going to be our main man if we have to go and end our trophy drought. I think he's the person who's going to. He is the difference maker. He is the difference maker, and I think our batting may be on par with some of the other teams, but if we have an advantage over the other teams, it's our bowling, and Jasprit Bumrah gives you those advantages. So I would say that Jasprit Bumrah is very, very important towards India's chances of going all the way in this tournament, and he's just a really, really special bowler. He wasn't there in the last T20 World Cup, and we saw what happened. But I feel Jasprit Bumrah is going to be, yeah, he's just our main man. If the person who's going to make the difference in where we finish in this tournament is going to be Jasprit Bumrah. Also, as for the thoughts on the tournament, I think India has to be fearless. I think we are seeing with England and Australia and West Indies and everyone, they're all playing a very fearless brand of cricket, and India can't be scared when they come up against these teams. They have to believe if they
No,
make
I'm scared.
X
I
number
don't
of
know,
runs.
Abhishek, I'm scared as an Indian when we are up against Australia. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
the way they
no,
have
even
bothered
England and
us.
West Indies. Even England and West Indies
No,
are
I
pretty
mean,
good. West Indies' bowling
I
is
mean,
not
but
great, but
Australia.
we have to believe. We need to believe that we can win. We need to get into a final and believe that we can win. So what if
All
Australia has
right.
won so many tournaments? And so what if Australia has a winning mentality? We need to believe we are better than them and we can beat them. And that is what I
No,
hope
believe it. I
I
know,
see from
believe
the
it.
team this
I
year.
mean, but Avinash, your thoughts on Australia? I mean, how to get rid of Australia? I mean, they're on our back like forever. Uh, how to get them off our back? I mean, this is one team we should be, because they've beaten us in Test Championship final, World Cup final, and I'm really when you think about Australia, I'm not comfortable. That something happens to our team when we see that yellow jersey. Can you tell us what
Dada,
happens?
I'm
Yeah.
not too worried about playing Australia in any game except for a final. So if India are playing
वही
Australia
तो
in the final, there's a concern. And if they are not playing
तो
Australia
सर
in a final match, I
हाँ
hardly have any problems or concerns. India plays much better in a league stage or in a group stage or in a Super 6 or a Super 8 stage with against Australia. But it becomes a different ballgame altogether when they are facing them in a final of sorts. So definitely, and we have seen it in the past as well. Just look at the performance of the Indian side in the 2016 T20 World Cup. I mean, we completely outclassed them, and that Virat Kohli special at Mohali. I mean, it was one of the best knocks of Virat Kohli you will ever see while chasing. And you had the likes of Mitchell Johnson, Mitchell Stark, and James Faulkner's all being battered by Virat Kohli. So as far as India and as long as India plays against Australia in the group stages, I don't have any problem. The
All right.
monkeys on the back only when India plays against Australia in an ICC event
I,
final.
I, I didn't want to use that word actually. I kept saying off our back, whatever. But we have landed in a lot of problems in the past with that word. But yeah, I mean, cricket is an amazing sport which is enjoyed, and the kind of spirit these guys sort of push. I mean, we push into the game. It makes it so special the way we see it today, and it's getting so extremely competitive. And tonight is one such event, and we'll see in India. Probably they will sort of end the thing on a high. And thanks Shakya, thanks Avinash for coming. And
And
uh,
we should not forget the fact that, rather, that when these two teams last played a T20I game, it was a double super over game. So a high scoring game, which also culminated into
I
two
know. That's
back to
what I'm
back super overs.
saying.
So
Yes.
obviously Indians cannot take this Afghan side lightly. Yes, there was a Virat Kohli in that game as well, who was out for a duck, and there was a Rohit Sharma who scored a phenomenal century, his fifth of his T20I career. But still, Afghans ended up chasing, I mean, equally and they cannot be taken lightly even tonight.
I mean, I'm sure the boys are not taking them lightly. It will be a good contest between bat and ball. Hopefully, for the first time, India. Because otherwise, it's been the bowlers who have been ruling the roost. On that note, thanks, Avinash Shakya, coming on Pitch Battle, sharing your thoughts. We'll be back hopefully with the India win tomorrow, and keep enjoying T20 World Cup. Thanks for watching.